Hello everybody and welcome back. This is episode 3 of Brenntown, and when we last left off, we had just reached Worthy Village. We just have started our little town. We're at a population of 900, and we have gotten access to our district's policies, a second loan. We also have to do some new services here. We're going to have to plop this fire department right away. We can probably hang tight on the police for right now. I do want to check out what unique buildings we get. The winter market looks really cool. Chirpek's launch site, we're not going to be able to do that. Let's see what else we got here. We got all kinds of stuff. How does this all... You know, I've never really played around with the unique buildings and the monuments. Or the achievements, really. I've never messed around with these things. I've always kind of just stuck around in the milestones tab. If you guys do use these unique buildings and monuments, let me know down in the comments below how you enjoy using them, which ones you really like. I guess I've seen folks use like the winter market. I know I've seen Target. He did a great series on the winter-themed map, and he did the winter market. I need to get to a population of 5,000 for that anyway. What buildings do I get? Does it say in the milestones what unique buildings I get? New buildings? Oh, I think I just don't get any this round. Alright, that's fine. Anyhow, there we are. We've got that. The first thing I want to do, however, is buy our next tile. The great thing about those milestones, the first couple, is we get a nice big cash infusion, so I don't mind dropping a little bit of money on a new tile if it's going to help me. And as I mentioned in the last episode, I really don't want to keep my industry over here. I want to transform this whole hill into a beautiful little hillside residential zone, and I'd love to get my industry plopped over here on the other side of the river. It's downriver, too, of my town, which is nice. I don't want to put my industry up here, even though there is rail access right next to the freeway here. That might be a good place for the industry, but I just don't like the idea of putting polluting industry upstream of my main residential downtown area. So I'm going to run that down over here, and who knows, maybe it might even expand out into here. I might do some forestry in this section, or maybe even up in these hills along this rail. Might be a nice place to have a little forestry thing out there. So let's go ahead and buy this little parcel of land. And how much money do I have? I still have $40,000. You know, I'm going to keep the game running just so that I keep making money, but I'm going to start to do this expansion. I'm going to do kind of a big risky jump here, and I'm going to see if I can go right now in this episode. Gosh, do I really want to do all of that? I was thinking about really jumping across the river here and doing that industrial zone on the other side of the freeway, of the river, but you know what? I think it might just be too soon. I will run the highway out here, however, and do I have access to highway roads yet? No, not quite yet. But we still have the 2-lane one-ways. I'm going to just run that pretty far. I'm going to run it all the way out here. I'm going to do a big old expansion in this episode and just kind of see if we can get ourselves close. Is that the right? No, we got to go 2 spaces over. There we go. Plop that in there, and I'm just going to continue this kind of method. And as I so where my next avenue is going to come into place, because eventually this is going to get transformed into some more high density residential, so I'm planning ahead and making sure that I plop in some nice avenue roads at reasonable distances. So I'm going to go, so this is going to be an avenue. This will stay just regular road, and then the next section right over here will be another avenue that mirrors this little spacing gap that we have over here. So just to kind of make that happen, let's do... Oh, that's too many. We gotta go... Is that right? How many did I need to go? Yeah, that's right. Let me just double check that. From here to here, it's 160. Here to here, 140. See? There we go. That's actually a little trick that I learned from Target, how to measure road lengths if you want them to be the same. But Target is really great. He has so many fascinating shortcuts for how to lay out your measurements. for the best ways to make nice curved roads. You should really go and check out his channel if you haven't already. I'd be surprised if my channel is the first one that you've checked out, since I'm pretty new. But that's a great way to measure it. Just measure out the price, 160. We got to come out 160 here. Yeah, that's right. That leaves the 2 gap over here, which will become a 1 gap once we turn it into an avenue. Fantastic. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2. Great. Let's run that all the way down here. So this will be an avenue connection, and I think what we'll do then, so we're going to lay, we need to have, is that right? We need to have that in there, right? Then we're going to go back to our 8x8 grid, and at the second juncture we'll come up here. So this will be an avenue, this will be a road, and let's do this, this, and this. Just plopping these down for measurement purposes. And then one more time we'll go out 160 over here, and this will also be an avenue that'll connect up to the avenue. Okay, so there, we'll have an avenue here, an avenue here, we'll have a block of residential in here, and a block of residential in here. And then we'll probably also run an avenue along the bottom here that will just kind of start to take the curvature of the river. But we're not going to build that just yet. I want to build out just this little residential section in here. And then in terms of highway connections, I'll go every other avenue. So I'll skip this fella right here. We'll put in a highway connection over here. And then that will more or less be mirrored over on this other side, that by the time we get out to the second avenue spot over here, we'll be butting right up against this main highway. And probably what we'll do then later is put in another highway connection, maybe further down here, to give another access point into this residential zone. Okay, I think that's a good plan of action for the future. I'm just going to run our avenue roads all the way down to the river for the time being. And we're just going to plop in our grid lines for this whole residential section. I'm not going to go all the way down to the river with these just yet, because I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with my avenues down here. So on this chunk, I think I'll just go, I'll go one more. Let's see. That's my avenue connection. That's my avenue connection. Where do we go? Oh, this has to come out. Yeah, that's right. Okay. So that this is now my avenue connection over here. And I can expand this section a little bit more. Let's do that. So we just come all the way out to here. Down to here. Fill all that in. Great. And then we would have another. Let's see what happens when we come down 160 here. This would be our avenue that would come along here, and that actually looks like a pretty decent spot to start curving. It's a little close. If it goes straight up along here and then starts to curve immediately up along, I think that'll be good. So let me, yeah, I'm just going to plop that in for now, so I've got it. I probably don't need to invest in all that, but who knows? Oh, I made those people sad by destroying their house. I'm sorry. I'm going to have an avenue connection there. Oh, that's right. This won't be an avenue connection because the grid layout's a little different. Okay, that's fine, because I think actually further back is going to be a better spot to curve our avenue up, which in that case might mean instead of this coming all the way down, I'm going to do, here's another target trick, you guys. He does this for when he's going to put a curve in a road connection here. You put in those little roads right there, boom, boom. Get your curvy tool. Boom, boom, and you've got a nice curved road. And I think that'll give us a little bit more of a buffer when I curve the avenue up here so that they're not butting up too close against each other. And that will just, those edges we just leave nice and square. Great. Okay, I think I'm going to delete this for now. And that goes away because we have a avenue connection here. And we're still making money and we're still in the green, so everything's looking good. Alright, I think that's all the development I'll do there until further on down the line when I do finally put in this Riverside Road. So, wow, we've got a huge demand for residential, so let's get started doing that. Here we go. Alright, I've been sitting back in my chair this whole time. It's time to sit forward and get some action moving. Let's get this. We're going to have this cute little house on the corner here. That might be fun. We have some demand for commercial, which is great. That'll help us plop this over here to help the electricity get across into our next residential zone. And let's drop a little bit more residential down in here. We can probably jump the speed up quite a bit as well. Let folks move into our town. What was the number we're going for again? We need to get to Tiny Town, and ooh, look at that, we're almost there. We're only 150 away from being Tiny Town, which is great, because look at that, we're already almost 12 minutes into this video here, so I think that'll be good timing for us. I won't even really need to zone any more residential to get us over that next milestone. It's going to come here any second. Alright, well, I'm just going to poke around. Looks like, oh, you know, I'm going to pause that before we hit our milestone. I want to make sure that everything's in place here. So let's just run. It's nice we've got these nice parallel pipes just very efficiently running down the center of town. That should cover everything over there. We're going to start getting more demand for industrial. I still have some zoning squares over here. I really don't want to have to build out any more over here. Looks like we're also starting to get some complaints about crime. If that gets really bad in the next episode, I'll take care of it. But let's get the timer running again here. And we are just 10 away from our next milestone. And there we go! We are a tiny town. I mean, tiny is like, I mean, come on. That's a bit. It's not tiny, it's small. It's a good size. But tiny? It's not tiny. Alright. Anyway, we've got access to landscaping. We can do parks and plazas. We've got level 2 unique buildings now. Yeah, tell me about those unique buildings. Tell me what you like. Pet ban is a new policy. Never understood that. Why would I ban pets? I have no idea why anybody would ban pets. That's just silly. Smoking ban? Maybe. Parks and recreation? Definitely. That's going to be fun for later. We get access to all of these parks. Just like with schools and healthcare, and a little bit policing as well. I'm going to take it easy on all of those services at the start of town. I usually like to wait until I get all the way up here. I'm going to sneak through into Big Town. Once I get to Big Town at 7,500, what that opens up is the incineration plant. And that to me, oh, and also the university. Those are two buildings that I feel like, yeah, really need to get to before my city can start launching into outer space. You know what I mean? We got to deal with getting rid of these garbage plants. I hate having, or the garbage dumps. And we got to get some educated workers so we can start building some offices and doing some cool stuff like that. Because after we get the university, we can start dropping some high-density commercial and office zones, which both require some highly educated folks to get them running. Well, I think right here at not Big Town. What are we at? Tiny Town. No, we're not even close to Big Town. We are at Tiny Town. That's a great place to stop this video. If you guys enjoyed the video, please remember to like and subscribe. It really helps me out, and I appreciate it. I appreciate you for watching. Again, my name is Dave Bren. This has been Brenntown, and I'll see you next time.